impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it. Impeachment is a political decision.
A frank statement from the Senate Majority Leader outraging Democrats tonight. His Senate counterpart, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, accusing McConnell of attempting to make the Senate trial a, quote, cover-up for President Trump. Well, let's discuss with Republican Senator from Indiana, Mike Braun. Senator, good to have you back with us tonight.
Good to be back on.
So listen, the Democratic critics of that say this is the guy who's going to be leading the whole trial, helping set the rules and everything else. If he says, I already know what my vote is and let's just get this thing over with, he can't be impartial.
You know, what I like about Leader McConnell is, of course, that was a kind of a parlor game tactic with Schumer trying to make that public when he knew that probably wasn't going to work, because the whole issue of witnesses is a double-edged sword. And when you pull the hit parade of who we'd want versus them, he knew that. And I think for me, I just thank goodness we're finally getting to the point of resolution. It crescendoed a month or so ago, and I think the Democrats really were trying to build their case on the fly. And it's got to be excruciating when polling has moved the other direction, especially in the swing states. And that's why I think Speaker Pelosi has been caught in a real bind here. But it looks like they're going to go through with it, and we'll get the articles of impeachment. And when we get back in January, I think 6 is kind of the date we're thinking. We'll finally get this thing put to rest, and we'll all be there listening to see if there's anything new, but don't expect anything.
Okay, so Politico, quoting the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, says the bottom line, quoting him, bottom line is that our Republican friends have a choice, not just Mitch McConnell, but all of them. Do they want the facts to come out, or do they want to cover up the truth? He says, why not have witnesses? That's how trials work. Let's do it. And you guys could then maybe call Hunter Biden, Adam Schiff, people you want to hear from. Why not?
Well, I mean, you can say that, but he knows that would only happen if we would get our list to call. And, of course, he already said that would not involve Hunter Biden. So that is just all part of the back and forth. And, I mean, we've been listening to this in the House for a long time. And I don't, you know, well, listen, if there's something new to be gleaned, it'll be taken into consideration. But I think they are at the point where they know the case has been made through the behind the closed doors version, the public version, the 4 constitutional experts, and nothing new has been gleaned through that.
Do you feel that you and your other counterparts there in the Senate truly can be impartial jurors at this point? Do you have concerns there would be Republicans that would vote for removal? Do you have hopes that there are Democrats who would join you and say, no, we're not going to go along with this?
I think that's a reflexive question, and the same thing, I did an op-ed actually on that. How do you think the 5 senators running for president could be impartial when they've been campaigning against the president for all this time, using a lot of terms bordering on malicious? So this is not a court of law. It's a political exercise that I think many people think it needs to have the characteristics of what you do, but there wouldn't be probably any juror, Democrat or Republican, that would be accepted in a regular court. So it's political, and I think that's what's bothering the Democrats. They thought the political support through the focus grouping, the polling, the building the case would be there. And, you know, that started going south about a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen is the numbers have either stabilized or moved in the president's direction. It's still very tight when you look at the averages of polls. But do you think that the end result is that, knowing he will not likely be removed in the Senate, that it sends him into the 2020 race battered and bruised, running as someone who has been impeached?
So I've gotten to know the president decently, and battered and bruised. I remember when I gave him a call about a month and a half or so ago, when some things other than impeachment were like the Turkish issue and so forth. And he sounded upbeat, and he's a guy that can, I think, take the pressure, obviously. And no, I think that this has the real impact for Democrats of backfiring politically, and we'll see that in 2020. Don't think there'll be a whole lot of desertions on the vote tomorrow among the kind of borderline Democrats. I think there's more solidarity in our conference in the Senate than there was at any point. So.
Well, we'll see. The president likes a good fight, and sometimes I think it does energize him. And he also predicts, as you do, that it will help Republicans next year. We'll see what voters think.
We'll see.
Anytime, Senator. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.